What up, man? It's your boy Big Street. Formula Drift 2021, Road Atlanta, Grade 8, all the way to the trophy. Y'all ready to do it? Let's hop into this.
Welcome back to Michelin Raceway Road Atlanta. We are in the midst of the Great 8. Matt Field versus Justin Pollock. Vaughn Gittin Jr. versus E. Meyer. Jeff Jones taking out Frederick Oswald, going up against Dean Carnage Carney, and Odie Bakchis and Adam LZ rounding out our Great 8, Jared. It has been a crazy event so far as we see the drivers preparing brand new set of tires to battle into the night here at Road Atlanta.
Only thing I'm missing from the back end of Matt Field's vehicle is his pit bike. I don't know if you saw that. He did drift week, and he was drifting with his pit bike on the back on a receiver. Is absolutely awesome. And, I know he's all about that Dogecoin right now too.
Wait,
Dogecoin to the moon, baby.
Yep.
He was drifting with a pit bike on the back of his car.
Speaking of the moon, there's the sun setting off in the distance, and it is crazy to think, Ryan, just the progression of Formula Drift back in '04, and Alex Pfeiffer and Sam Hubinette doing battle. That's just a battle that stands out in my mind.
Strong.
Tiger. Remember Tiger back in the day? His S13. Calvin Wan.
Taka Aono and Sam is another one here.
Yep.
It's the overheating days.
That's right. Yeah, those things are just absolutely overheating. And I'm not making light of it. Those, as I put a post up before coming out here, I said, make today a good old day. We'll look back at this and say, man, remember 2021 when it opened up and everybody was absolutely bananas and bonkers and there was awesome driving?
So the
make today
numbers.
Yeah, you never know when the good old days are.
Nope. Right.
You'll just look back like, those were the good old days.
Yep.
We might be in a good old day right now.
That's what I'm saying. Make today a good old day. In due time, today is a good old day. All right, speaking of good old days, good old boys, we got Matt Field and Justin Pollock, our first battle of the Grade 8. Teal and blue all over the track. It's a Falcon lose-win situation here, but which driver's going to come out on top? The bow tie, the Corvette, the flags of Matt Field, the Beast from the Bay, the Drift Cave head caveman, Captain Caveman, going against JTP Justin Pollock. JTP and that Falcon Tires Roush Performance Ford Mustang.
I'm ready.
Absolute rocket. So this should be a fun one. Both these guys, they go for the backies, they go for the style, they go for the amplitude, that X factor, and there we go. Matt Field will lead. JTP chasing him down. Whoa, little shots fired there. What? That was odd. Look at this, Matt Field composed, massive angle from him. Justin Pollock regains his composure, and now up the hill into that second outside zone goes Matt Field. JTP taking a bit of a shallower line here, and a hiccup there from Justin Pollock, now coming back down the hill into the touch and go.
Now, what are you doing, Justin?
Now Justin Pollock looks just maybe out of sorts. I don't know what's going on here. Question is, did Matt Field kind of get in the way? No. Right? Because he was a lead car. Matt Field's a lead car.
Lead driver has. Remember this last year in St. Louis with Osbo. You could see Matt Field is able to move over and utilize the course as the lead driver, and Pollock made a very aggressive move to move out of the way. I don't think he was super close. It may have caught him off guard, but it put him in a situation where he was basically playing catch-up up until this point here. He surges forward to the inside clip, gets pinched off a little bit, goes out onto the grass, and then watch right here. He's going to have a little understeer for a second. Made it work, but not the greatest chase run in terms of having to play catch-up. You want to be in the pocket from the get-go, putting pressure on the drivers and not worrying about mistakes that you have to fix. So now we'll switch things up. Justin Pollock goes to the lead as Matt Field now moves to the chase position, which looks like he's got a bit of an advantage here going into the second half of the battle.
All right, JTP out front.
That was definitely a weird one.
He has the clean air, no disruptions, no other vehicle in his way. Let's see how he fares out front. The winner going against either Vaughn Gittin Jr. or Eve Meyer. And Pollock slowly crawling out of that start chicane. Justin Pollock, look at that. Tit for tat right as Pollock initiates, so does Field. Field takes a little bit of angle out of it. Now heading up the hill. Into that first outside zone, both of them. No major errors. I like how it's going. Good flow, good proximity from Field. He knocks over that inside clip. Now into the touch and go. And Pollock around that final clip, using all of the track, Ryan.
No tap, nothing to be assessed.
Good run from both these guys. Look at the flames shooting out of Pollock's vehicle.
I'd have to give it to Matt Field because Justin Pollock.
Second half of the battle, pretty fun to watch here. That was an opportunity, I think, for Matt Field to shut the door and do it distinctly. I'm not sure that he did that, but he probably did enough here. Let's take a look at it.
Dude.
Justin Pollock back on throttle before inside clip 1. Matt Field trying to attack coming up the hill here, but Justin keeping him at bay. Field makes a little bit of an adjustment there as now they re-enter the horseshoe here. You can see just the dynamics of the car, backing forth, braking, making adjustments. Field through the smoke line, trying to stay on the inside here, doesn't want to get lost. Here it is coming out of the horseshoe. You can see Field does make a little bit of an adjustment. And so that's what the judges are going to be looking at. I think the chase runs by both drivers were not the exclamation point chase runs.
Right.
Lead runs were pretty good both ways around, but it's going to be weighting of those mistakes.
I think we're really splitting hairs here, and you know.
No way.
Wow, quickly. Look at this. Slide him left for Field, right for Pollock.
Justin was too sporadic.
Matt Field gets the victory. Matt Field moves on to the final 4. And look at that. His mantra and his mindset is working out for the Beast in the Bay. Justin Pollock, as his day and evening has ended, but a great effort for him. Great to see him running and looking strong.
Yeah, so far it's going to be an interesting championship lineup. We've got Matt Field, our first driver, into the Final 4. Gittin and Meyer up next. Pollock with a grade 8 exit, which is pretty good for him to start off the season. Obviously, he is always wanting to be a championship contender and has been right there for the majority of his career. We've got Jeff Jones and Dean Carney on the other side, and then Odie Bakchis and Adam LZ. So some new names, some guys that we expect to be up there, but Road Atlanta never surprises.
So Eve Meyer going against, I mean, look at this. Eve Meyer started his day going against a champion, Michael Essa. Eve Meyer going against Ryan Turk, who, you know, has finished, I think his best was second, correct, or third? At least last year was third. And then now he's going against the defending champion, Von Gittin Jr. This is absolutely pinch me moment for the Drift Force BMW. Got Event Silberg. Have you tried announcing the event Silberg?
It almost looks like Christoph Blues
from Switzerland.
I keep that stuff to you.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. But from Switzerland, Eve Meyer, an absolute gem. Him and Reynolds having a great addition to the Formula Drift family. Great vehicles. And speaking of Matt Field, the Drift Cave has prepared those vehicles the last couple of years. Von Gittin Jr. waits on the line. The Monster Energy NATO Tire Ford Performance Mustang RTR Spec 5D.
Okay, here's your possibility for an upset here.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
See what you can do.
Absolutely. And if you want to drive Von Gittin Jr.'s car, you can in Torque Drift. So Von Gittin Jr. is in Torque Drift, so you can download the game, play for free. So check it out on Android, PC,
we might have to
iOS.
Download that. That sounds
10 of your friends.
That sounds
dope. Drive Von Gittin Jr.'s car.
We
are in the Link ECU Top 8, the Great 8. Link ECU, the official engine management unit of Formula Drift. Red lights are illuminating, and here we go. Let's send it.
Go.
Von Gittin Jr., Eve Meyer. Never doing battle against each other as Von Gittin Jr. goes towards the middle of the course, and as we said, the lead car has the right of way. Massive angle there from Von Gittin Jr. lifting that front left tire. Oh man, Eve Meyer getting christened in smoke. Into that second outside zone. We got contact. Von Gittin Jr. stays in it. Woo! Make some noise, Atlanta. Wow, we got rubber on rubber contact, but Houston, we do not have a problem. Eve takes one of those cones as a souvenir all the way home. Ryan, let's take a look at that again in the horseshoe. The Broncos, the Mustangs were bucking.
That was a murderous run there by Von Gittin Jr. You can see the squat of the Mustang. He's back on throttle with massive angle through inside clip number 1. Then going up the hill, let's take a look at this contact here, which Von, he doesn't even seem like he gets phased by it. And I thought maybe he had a broken part, and maybe he does on the right front, but absolutely drives out of it like there's no issue at all. As he's transitioning right here, you can see he makes contact and just stays on the throttle like an absolute beast.
Yeah.
And then extends his gap to Eve with that apparent mistake that was made there. And Eve steals our cone all the way up to the start line. Here it is again. We're probably going to see a really good view of it here. Watch the right, left front and right front collide pretty much head on. as Vaughn was trying to manage his way to that inside clip. Wow. Crazy, man.
Door to door, it says it on the roof of Eve Meyer, but it's wheel to wheel. Face to face. Mono a mono. Look at that. Vaughn just pulling right back up. Take a lick and it keeps on ticking. And I know that Vaughn, you know, in the offseason, I mean, hey, it feels good. It feels good, right? So I know they developed their suspension arms in the offseason. They were really working on those things. A big CNC. I mean, they're beasts.
Like Gumby style, like you hit them and they just go right back.
Yeah, they take a licking, man. But no, they're stout. They're really beautiful pieces of artwork. So
those headlights,
wondering if Vaughn will call.
Those are cool.
And calling a comp. So yeah, it looks like they might be calling a competition timeout.
I think it's toe.
Okay, cool. So no comp timeout was called because fault was deemed towards Meyer. So Vaughn is allowed to look at his vehicle without utilizing competition timeout. So here is a look at the bracket. Matt Field is already in. We are halfway through the Gittin and Meyer battle. But before we move on and find out what's going on, throw it down to Lorette Nickel, who's with the Beast from the Bay. All right, let's move on. Back to the second half of this battle. Vaughn Gittin Jr. and Eve Meyer.
My peoples.
The second half of this battle.
All right, let's see what happens.
And Eve now will be out front with those menacing signature RTR LED grill lights in his rear view mirror. All right, the Type S lights are on, underglow.
Ooh.
And now into that first front flip. Here comes Eve Meyer. Vaughn Gittin Jr. chasing him down. Now pass. Ooh, taking all the cones, eating them up like pack pellets. Now into that second outside zone. Eve does not get all the way out there, and that was a line he took with Vaughn Gittin Jr., and that's what actually caused the accident. So it looks like Vaughn maybe give himself a little bit of room here and might surge here towards the end. No, he does not, but he knows he has that kind of advantage, so didn't really need to apply the pressure too much.
Well, the interesting thing about the contact is that it really didn't disrupt Vaughn at all. So it's not really going to be a major deduction for Eve. It's really going to be about how these two runs come together. Vaughn was not affected, and Eve was aggressive, yes, but what Eve did not result in Vaughn making a big mistake. So, if Vaughn was one of those guys that would have flopped in that situation, then we'd have a completely different scenario, but that's not what Vaughn does. So now the judge is going to be looking at both runs, how they both competed against each other, who hit the marks as the lead, who had the better chase run, looking at all those things overall, and then coming up with the winner. But it's a great battle overall. Vaughn Gittin Jr. and Eve Meyer putting on a show for everybody, and now we await the judges' results.
I have to assume the needle is going to go the way of Gittin, but a great effort by Eve Meyer from Switzerland. Let's make it official. Slide left for Gittin, and there it is. Vaughn Gittin Jr., defending and two-time Formula Chip champion, gets the win and is moving on to the Final Four. Eve Meyer from Switzerland is knocked out. How we doing out there, Atlanta? Make some noise. Still a stout crowd there, Ryan. That is a, what do you say? Something about confidence? Something about confidence? Appropriate confidence, thank you. All right. That is appropriate confidence. Hey, my director wants to make sure you guys are still there. Are you guys still out there? Make some noise. I saw you, young man. You and the shaggy haircut on the fence. You got to make some noise, bro. Yeah, I'm looking at you. Yeah, you just stood there. Man. I need you to get hyped. This guy got his Ariat hat on. There you go. You got one. All right, yeah, just calm down, bro. Homeboy in the DC shirt. Who else we got out there? Hey, happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there. Moms, grandmas. Happy Mother's Day. We got those royal purple banger sticks. Oh, these guys slaying it. Big Jeff Gordon fan right there. Getting after it.
That was a crank.
Ferda. Doing it for the boys. I'm going to change our status to it's complicated. Thank you guys and gals for joining us out here as we are going to the other side of the bracket of the Great 8. We are in
those are cool.
The Link ECU Great 8. And we are overhead looking at Dean Carnage Carney, Jeff Jones. He's on the line, dude. Look at this. He says, I went through Osbo. We're getting ready to, again, you do know this, Ryan, that if he wins, he takes his Edelbrock Supercharger off the car and takes it on the podium with him. Did you know that?
I did not know
dope.
Yeah, so if he wins,
I want to see Jeff
and they're taking the supercharger.
And what's the backstory there?
Just he loves the thing, and that's what got him to where he's at right now.
That's how he gets it done.
That's how he gets it done.
I mean, the guy's so epic, and it just
does not surprise
totally
me.
follows. Yeah,
does not surprise me. Dean Carnage Carney, I don't know what he's gonna do. He's just he's gonna do backflips, and he's gonna shut down the bar. I think that's what he's gonna do. Oh man, here we go. Jeff Jones, 818 Brewing, Edelbrock, GT Radial. Then you got Dean Carnage Carney, Oracle Lighting, Dodge Viper. All about carnage with a K. Here we go. Jeff Jones will lead. Go. Jones qualified 18th. Carney qualified 26th. He's one of those late eights.
I want to see the reaction time on Jeff.
He's trying to birth a podium finish. Jeff Jones initiates into that first front flip, and Dean Carney comes in hot, makes contact with Jones, but Jones stays in it.
Jones, you've been hanging out with
now coming that first outside zone, into that second outside zone goes Jones. Look at Jeff Jones. Absolute beast. Coming through that touch and go, and then that final inside flip. Ryan Sage, a great battle here between Jones and Carnage.
Yes, sir.
Oh, wow.
What's going through your mind right now? You're just kind of looking at the screen.
Well, okay, honestly, what was going through my mind is I was thinking back to Texas last year when we said, wow, Jeff Jones, he could potentially get his first podium.
Yeah.
And now we find ourselves in this same situation. Let's take a look at the run first. Little love tap there from Dean Carney. Stays in it, but Jeff Jones pushes.
Maybe
has to do a little bit of braking there.
Let's
take a look at it again. This is where the decel zone ends right there at that inside clip. Jones is able to muscle through it. And now Kearney through the smoke line, has to pull some angle out of the car to get back on it as Jones gets into outside zone number 2, a little bit shallow, pushes wide on that inside clip. That allows Dean to take a little bit of ground back. Now coming down the hill here is Dean eyeing him up, smartly staying out of that smoke line, but he does miss the inside clip that Jones was able to get through, and we are seeing Jones pull off to the side there. I think he is going to talk to his spotter and potentially find out who was at fault for the contact. I'm pretty sure that it will be Dean, and that will allow Jeff Jones, just like Von Gittin Jr., to take a look at the car.
Should have double e-brake.
It looks like after Jones and Kearney kind of got into it in their battle, we are now going to be taking a look first at Adam LZ and Odie Bakshis.
So Odie Bakshis, Adam LZ, and Ryan, you talked about this earlier, similar scenarios about Texas, LZ, and Jones, but here we go, right back jumping into it. Odie Bakshis and Adam LZ, 2 S15s, 2 very different builds. Oh boy, look at that nastiness. We got door-to-door, wheel-to-wheel, and LZ just absolutely slamming into the side of Odie Bakshis. Let's take a look at this. So let's see who is at fault here. I want to take a look at the instant replay. Saw a bit of an exchange there of Adam going up to the door of him. I don't know if it was a sorry or what the heck, or didn't see the...
Now, I think this is LZ getting maybe a little bit overzealous here, and we know how challenging getting the timing right on initiation is. This is all a momentum zone here, right? The contact is made 25 feet, 20 feet before, so Odie is allowed to basically slow down there in order to get ready and be back on throttle by inside clip number 1. I love the aggression here from Adam LZ, but you can see he's moving at a much quicker rate after initiation than Odie Bakshis, and Odie really just had to buckle up and take that one. It's well before the first inside clip, so this shouldn't be too controversial here. The judge has been basically talking about this all event long. But let's get Ryan on while we've got a little bit of clear time. Judge Ryan Lantane, if we could get you on real quick and turn your mic on. This one seems like a pretty clear-cut situation, but why don't you tell us how you guys thought about it, and also what you think happened there with Adam and Odie.
You hit the nail on the head, Ryan. LZ just came in too fast. He wasn't really judging what Odie was doing in the lead position. You can see that he just came in way too fast. He didn't slow down enough, and made, at least it was, the cars were parallel when they hit. You know, it wasn't a nose into a door or something. But clearly there's some damage on both cars, so they're going to have to look at that. And it's going to be fault on Adam LZ.
I was like, I don't know.
We are back here, and we are seeing Dean Carney and Jeff Jones on the start line. And if you can remember, we got that contact there. And we'll have to, this is the second run of this Great 8 battle. Who's moving on to the final 4?
Carnage.
So we saw Jeff Jones
Staying
initiate, and Dean Carney, if you can recall,
did he change the color of his grill
in that chase position. So the question is, you know, Dean was at fault. So look at the guys having some fun in the back. Yo, the Jones gang. There's just Jones and just nothing like this. No, Jones and his team are a different breed, man. And I think it needs to be celebrated. Here we go. Dean Carney out front. Jones in that chase position. Carney initiates massive angle there. Wow, that was nice. Very sick. Solid initiation there.
Come on, Jeff, you gotta stay.
Jones needs to get active. Oh, and Dean goes over, sprays the dirt to the sand people right there. And look at Jones.
All up in his door.
Ryan, you don't give a lot of drivers nicknames, but you deemed him relentless years ago, and I think it just really summarizes who he is and his spirit.
Oh, I'm definitely going to need to see that again, and probably the first run.
Right.
I need a refresher.
Yeah, totally. Oh, now his lights are purple. Wait a minute, I'm very confused.
Side-by-side action, the BC Racing side-by-side so instant replay. BC Racing, the official suspension of Formula Drift. Go for the gold.
All right, so Jeff Jones and Dean Carney here, keeping us entertained into the night. Jeff Jones, Dean Carney, waiting at the line. We'll pull up some replays here. We've got 2 runs in the books now. We had a bit of a circumstance on run number 1 and a bit of a circumstance on run number 2. So they are not only keeping us entertained, they're also making it very difficult
Dean went into the
for
dirt.
This panel of 3 judges up here. But nonetheless, a great way to kick off the 2021
it wasn't
season.
Jeff Jones' fault that he hit Dean. It was Dean's fault that Jeff Jones hit him. That's just my personal opinion.
To go, I believe.
That's my not so professional opinion.
Odie and LZ, they had that contact with LZ coming in hot. So
for real.
A lot of these chase drivers absolutely going for it. All right, side by side of that BC Racing, side by side instant replay.
Dean's
all right, Jones on the left screen in the lead.
In the chase.
Dean on the right.
Whatever, leave me alone.
The lead run is on the left-hand side for Jones. That was the first lap, rather. That's where they got a little tight up there on the initiation. Jones shooting out wide in his lead run to get out to touch and go number 1, but comes up short on outside zone number 2. Goes wide on the clip as Dean in his lead run trying to pull away from Jones, coming through the touch and go with his final snap here.
And he's causing Jeff to make it unchaseable.
And a tough battle here for the judges. And getting some news from the LZ camp here coming through. Want to wait for the official nature of it, but our task at hand is to find a winner between Jeff Jones and Dean Carney.
I give it to Dean.
All right, here's a look from the drones. This is the second run. So this is with Dean out front, Jones in the chase position. Now remember that contact made by Dean. Did Jones do enough? And Dean, you know, I mean, that's a deduction, but it's not incomplete.
And Dean was looking really good up to that point. As you said, it's just a deduction, a mistake. His initiation, his angle, the flow that he carried through the first inside clip, all pretty solid. Pondering. I see one judge that's no longer pondering. He's like, I got it.
Scores are in. All of them are in. All right, here we go. Slide him left for Jones, right for Carney. We got it one more time from Eggert. And Montaigne says Jones, and Brian says Jeff Jones gets the win.
Okay, I wonder.
Jeff Jones is moving on to the Final Four. He qualified 18th. But we are finding out that LZ was unable to repair his vehicle in the 5-minute allotment. Here's how it plays out. So we will see the second run of Odie Bakshis, but it is official. We'll see Odie rip through the course in his Falcon Tires Field Suspension S15. But there is your Final Four. Matt Field versus Von Gittin Jr. Jeff Jones going against Odie Bakshis on the right side of the bracket. All right,
look at that.
Let's speaking of screaming, let's hear this man scream down the hill. We're going to lay out so you can listen to this supercharged V8 under the hood of the Falcon Tire Field Suspension Sylvia S15.
We're going to be playing for this
Odie
Bakshis right here. Yep. Mr. Odie Bakshis is on the line. 3, 2, 1, go. Whether he's chasing, wheeling, or doing a free buy run, dude. Watching Odie do it.
And there it is, Odie Bakshi's with that run. It advances into the Final Four, baby. So here it is, our United States Air Force trivia. And what is the A10 affectionately known as? Sunshine, Bear, Stallion, or Warthog?
No, that's
so
the
Warthog.
Warthog.
What is the A10 affectionately known as? Sunshine,
That's
Bear, Stallion, or Warthog? The Aim High Air Force trivia. Here we go. Our first battle of the Final Four is here. Matt Field, Vaughn Gittin Jr., the Beast from the Bay, versus Captain Clutch Kick, Vaughn Gittin Jr. Woo-wee! The defending and two-time Formula Drift champion.
That's a Vietnam.
Shout out to my boy at Heatwave. What's up, Justin? Thanks for tuning in, bro. If you haven't seen him.
Those planes in Vietnam.
Oh, yeah.
We have a lot more dead soldiers from there.
So, I know they're feeling the heat wave. I know Justin is up in the Bay Area. The Bay Area boys got the shades on. Ready to get tuned up. Matt feeling the flow, feeling the vibe, but he's going against that man, Vaughn Gittin Jr., two-time and defending Formula Drift champion. But again, just the attitude,
his front rubber,
the confidence, the justified confidence, as Field and Gittin are warming up their respective tires.
That's a cool one too.
Yeah, justified confidence. Yeah, we have too
They have
much
like
fun.
a sick album title.
Justified confidence.
Yeah,
that's a good one.
I'm gonna take that
like
from
if you're
Ryan.
claiming hard a little bit.
Yeah, it's like justified
got
confidence.
dope, but justified.
Yeah, like humble confidence. I'm the most humble guy I know. Yeah, dude, that's what's up. All right, here we go. All joking aside, it's always great to be back here, rapping out alongside Ryan Sage and Laurent Nickel, our judges, our whole crew. It's great to see the family. The band's back together, baby. And the front and center, the singers, the musicians, the bands, Vaughn Gittin Jr. and Matt Field right now are center stage. Matt Field will lead. He's your #1 qualifier. Vaughn Gittin Jr. qualifying 4th. Still in the 90s, but just not enough. And that could come into play here to, you know what? Actually, no, I was going to say one of these guys are guaranteed 3rd place, but that's not the case because Odie did qualify in between them. So it's a must-win for Vaughn Gittin Jr. in order. No, not the case even there either. Here we go, Matt Field and Vaughn Gittin Jr. The scenarios play out as the tires burn on. Matt Field initiates into that front clip. Right there, look at him. Matt Field just wraps it around that front clip. Now going to that first outside zone, some wavering by both the drivers in that second outside zone. Right there, riding the line is, woo, oh, doctor, look at this. Both these guys showing up, toe-to-toe, mano-a-mano, body parts being shredded off. Shredded to send it to end it. Matt Field and Vaughn Gittin Jr. putting on an air show. Wow.
Loving that. Great way to kick off the Final Four. Matt Field, #1 qualifier. Vaughn Gittin Jr., #4. And the current champion, Matt Field trying to dethrone Vaughn Gittin Jr. Super close action coming up the hill with Matt Field shooting into outside zone #2. Right at the edge of the track, but Vaughn following him perfectly through outside zone 2. Into the inside clip. Oh, little bit of a washout there by Vaughn, but he corrects very quickly, gets back on it. A great shot from above to see that little correction that Vaughn made. Here it is coming out of the keyhole one more time, or going into the keyhole rather. Matt Field super deep on that outside zone. Look at Vaughn with the pressure, unbelievable. And then right there, just a slight little adjustment. You can see the front wheels moving. This is a dangerous area, that smoke line. Very important to stay out of it. Vaughn navigates through it pretty well. And now we will switch things up.
Wow.
The two-time champion, Vaughn Gittin Jr. at the lead.
Yep.
Trying to make history in 2021. Wants to get that
Let's do it
third.
again,
Wants
boys.
to tie James
Let's
Dean.
do it
Wants to
again.
tie
Chris
Chris
do it again. I
Forsberg.
need to hear
Matt
Jared
Field,
yell some
number
more.
one
Oh,
qualification,
doctors.
wants a championship of his own. They meet in the Final Four. They give us an awesome first half, and here's the second.
Awesome driving by both these gentlemen. Who's going to come out on top? Vaughn Gittin
Send
Jr.
it.
gets the clean air behind the wheel of his Ford Mustang. And Matt Field hunting him down. Vaughn Gittin Jr. initiates. Big angle from Vaughn Gittin Jr. Look at that. He's got that back right tire, Ryan, you're pointing out. Did it go flat? I don't know. That thing looks like he's on rim potentially. But if he finished, might have defeated. But if he finished, oh boy, and there it goes.
It debeated on initiation, and it's fine in terms of can he finish the run because it's the second half of the battle.
Yes.
But obviously, it doesn't look like he was able. Well, and Matt got really close there too. It can't ever be easy.
No. But I do believe that with that when he transitioned, because what was that?
It's the right rear.
Right rear. So when he came down, okay, here
watch,
we go.
watch it right here. It goes
Boom.
off right there
Yep.
as he's hitting the e-brake. It pops off the rim. So, I mean, sometimes they can kind of pop back on and you can still maintain some grip. But let's see, it's off completely there. So he's got basically metal to asphalt, and you have to think that that is playing a role in the ability to put down power in the appropriate way. The judges will have to make an interpretation and a call on this section of the course. Now remember, the decel zone is passed. Right there, they should be accelerating through that inside clip. There it is in slow motion. You can see.
There it is. Yeah, locking it up. Bye.
I think the rumble strip knocked it off.
I go bye-bye.
Yeah. Tire went to heaven. So as they transition here, you got to think that trying to put that power down.
Kind of pop back on for a second.
Yeah.
And then it's like, nah, I got to get going.
Nah. All right, I'm going to head out. So now you can see him just staying on it. E-brake. Matt's taking a tighter line. You got to think that moving forward, oh boy.
I think he washed himself out because he didn't have the grip he was really
Monica can have it easy.
Nope.
Yeah. Like if he finishes the run,
that's what I'm thinking. I'm overhearing the judges talking, and I think.
But if he spins out or anything, they have to literally.
Yeah. I think that has to factor in
after the fact
into the overall interpretation. I hear Ryan putting his mic on. Let's open him up. Tell us what you guys been talking about, Ryan.
Yeah, right away we saw that Vaughn's tire debeated on initiation, and the amount of grip these tires produce, if you're down one tire, you're clearly going to be having trouble maintaining the amount of speed and pace throughout the course that you'd expect a lead car to do. And then as they came up here towards inside clip number 2, you could see that Vaughn over-rotated, clearly caused by the lack of one of the tires on the car, as you were saying, metal on asphalt. So Matt Field, I think, made a very light contact with him. I didn't deem it to be Matt Field's fault at all, and I put it on Vaughn Gittin. It's clearly not Vaughn Gittin's fault, but he had a tire debead, so that's what's at fault for this.
That's going to change the complete attitude of the vehicle. So,
absolutely.
Yeah, so here's what they said, and Matt Field gets the win. He's going to the finals. Matt Field is guaranteed at minimum second place here in Atlanta. If Jones wins, Odie gets third. I apologize.
Correct.
Thank you.
If Odie wins, Vaughn gets third.
Thank you.
That's how we're doing it.
All right. Well, some people have lost some money here today. Their bets went south, but regardless, you know who's going to win right now? No, I have no idea. Us. We're all going to win. That's a great way of putting it. Jones and Odie. Bakshish. Oh man, this should be fun. You know, you gotta think that we were talking about just the confidence, but I think just the zaniness and the fun having that Jones is having and his team. I think that's really just keeping him cool, calm, and collect. Yeah, totally.
Like keeping it loose, fun, happy, smiling. There's something to be said about that. Yeah. There's a fine balance of the seriousness of competition and being able to have fun. I mean, drifting is fun by its very nature.
Fact.
And That's what makes it such a beautiful sport. It's cool that it's also a competition because you have both of those elements. And now we're putting ourselves in a position where one of these two guys is going to be going to the finals. Is it going to be Odi Bakchis or is it going to be Jeff Jones?
Here we go. Odi Bakchis out front. Jeff Jones in that chase position. The first portion of this battle. Matt Field waits in the wings as Von Gittin Jr. does it well. Will he get third place or will he get fourth? Odi Bakchis coming down the hill in that Falcon Tires Field Suspension S15. Here comes Jones in tow. Odi brings around that first front clip. Well executed by both the drivers. Couple car length distance in between the two drivers. First outside zone, now the second outside zone. Jones taking a tighter line. Look at that, wheel to wheel. Good transition. Now coming out of the keyhole. Jeff Jones make a small correction, straightens out, now back up the hill. Odi and Jones, no major mistakes from either driver. I think Odi had a really good lead run. Jeff had some corrections in the back in that chase position. Now, if I'm Jones, I got to run the run of my life. I know Odi is going to chase me down.
Yeah, that is something that we expect from Odi Bakchis, to be an aggressive chase driver. But here he is in the lead, laying down a solid, clean lead run. Fulfilling that first outside zone, getting pretty much to the edge of the second outer zone. But Jones, no slack here, surging in moments, pushing the pace on Odi. Yet, like you said, a couple little mistakes, a couple areas we had a little bit less angle, but he still kept and stayed in the fight. So now he's got to switch up the mentality, go from the chase mentality to the lead run. I've got the clean air. Let me put down the run of my life. And Odi Bakchis, we know what he can do in the chase position.
Jeff is buzzing right now. He's absolutely frothing. He is just, he wants this on so many levels. I know I saw his wife, she's here, and she says, I can work remotely. I'm trying to, just be here, be present, and Jones is going for it. But I know, Amy, Odi's wife, she's here in the building. She's loving it. She's back. And it's great, man. This is just all one big happy family. But one of these gentlemen is going to the finals, guaranteed a podium spot. Here we go. Send it. Jeff Jones coming down the pipe. Odi Bakchis right there. That's what I was talking about, and that's to be expected. Jones in that 818 Edelbrock.
Keep it, Jeff.
Z coming into that second outer zone. Just barely dips that back left wheel into that second outside zone, transitioning out of the keyhole and through that touch and go. Oh, great transition by both the drivers. Jeff was a little off that touch and go run. Awesome driving by both the drivers.
Well, a great battle here in the Final Four. Well done by both drivers, as you said, but let's take a little bit more of a granular look here. Jones, nice early initiation on the throttle through that inside clip. Odi, always a beast in the chase, keeping it close, going uphill. One of the hardest parts of the course to time to get to outside zone number 2. But Odi moving quickly here to make sure that he's following Jones like a moving clipping point, trying to mirror him the best that he can and look for areas where he can dive in the pocket there, keep the pressure on. Jones out front, following most of the criteria of the lead driver and giving us a great battle to consider here at Road Atlanta in the Final Four.
Oh, man.
Which way do you think it's going to go?
Let's see what we got.
I wanted to go Odi because that's my
Again,
dude.
Matt Field waits in the wings. So
one more time
if Odi wins, Von Gittin Jr. gets third. If Jeff Jones wins,
gets it, I need to hear an explanation on
Odi gets
why
third.
that happened. I think it should go.
What do you guys think? Is it Odi Bakchis? Or is it Jeff Jones? Or is it one more time?
Turn around, then.
Y'all getting loud. I can't hear you. Where are my Odi fans at? Where are my Jeff Jones fans at? Where are my one more time fans at? Slide him left for Jones, right for Odi Bakchis. Odi gets the win and is advancing on.
Odi gets the
So
win.
the finals are set. The finals are set. Matt Field, Odi Bakchis are in the finals. That means Von Gittin Jr., that man's wearing the right shirt if he is pulling for Von. Von Gittin Jr. gets third place here in Atlanta. And there he is, warming up his tires. Matt Field, Falcon Tires, Riff Cave, the head caveman. I'm sure Mr. and Mrs. Field are watching, cheering him on. His sister. I wonder if even if he's got to deal with fresh and lean. He seems to be talking about those prepared meals. With that, I like that. And I know he switched it up to Ford Stars this year. And let's take a look at these cars. Odie Bakshi's, Matt Field. Field claiming 700 horsepower. I think it's got to be a little more than that. And Odie with the long hair, the shaggy hair. He's been thrashing, dude.
I think Matt is more like at the 1K realm.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's like 1,000. And remember, like, the horsepower wars, Odie was just like, 1,000 horsepower, like the HP, LOL, like kind of was making fun of the horsepower wars. And now look where you're at. You can't beat them, join them.
But it's also a point of diminishing returns because of the tire width limitation.
For sure.
We've seen people go in too far of an extreme on the horsepower and basically never be able to use that, and almost it hurts them in competition.
Yep.
So finding that happy medium, what chassis, how much weight, and then the tire width that applies to that. So.
Yep.
And I think a lot of it now, and especially with people like Odie, it's about suspension dynamics and getting that right for each of the tracks that you go to, being able to get the grip down at the right part of the track at the right time in both the lead and the chase setup.
Yeah.
The lead setup is kind of like a qualifying setup, right?
Yep.
Not always, because I know a lot of guys run it a little bit looser in qualifying, so they can get a little bit more crazy. But you still want to have enough grip to chase. And if you're the lead driver out and you smoke the tires, you don't have a lot on the chase, you've got to find a balance to be able to manage that appropriately.
All the teal and blue shirts supporting their respective teams. Matt Field will lead our #1 qualifier. The finals are here. Everybody turn on your phone lights. Let's light this place up. Turn on your phone lights.
Hey-o.
Let's light it up. Larry Chen gonna snap the pics. Larry, you ready, buddy? Little baby send. Let's send it! Atlanta, line up the night. The finals are here. It's a Falcon 1-2. In which order are they gonna land? Matt Field, the beast from the bay, initiates. Thrown into that front clip. Odie Bakshi's right there on the back. Whoa! Odie Bakshi's lunges forward, gets in to the side of Matt Field. You see him go on the opposite side. The accident happens. And the carbon Kevlar body kit lands right in front. Oh, man, we got side skirts, front bumpers. We got it all. That was interesting. How did he go on that side? Odie says, look, I need damage on this side, too. Let's just go and throw it on that side.
Well, we know these guys come out aggressive, and this is a course where you're going really fast and slow, then really fast again, then slow, then really fast again. And these kind of things can happen in areas like that. Now, remember, that's a decel zone, that's a decel zone, that's not a decel zone. That's not a decel zone. That's not a decel zone. The decel zone starts there, and then it goes up to the start of outside zone number 2. So just for the record, that's how the track is laid out. They even touched, they kissed. I think Odie transitioned a little quickly there.
Yeah. Well, it was like it was a shallow transition. So looks like they did kiss there, and then yeah. I think he just gripped up and it shot him to the right side, as opposed to kind of getting loose and dropping in a formation.
So interesting. Let's take a look back at Odie. He has not used a competition timeout. Field has not used a competition timeout, so they both have one. We will need to get fault because this is now deemed as a collision because the run stopped.
Yep.
So fault has to happen here. We typically will also do fault if there's just contact, which means the run doesn't necessarily stop, just in case there is a damaged part that we don't see and it becomes a safety issue. But in this case, where it is completely stopped, it goes into the collision category. We need to deem fault, and then it would be an incomplete for one of the drivers. That's the big thing that happens in a collision, is that the run stops, and that means that somebody caused that accident, that collision, and will be deemed with an incomplete. Here's another look at the momentum zone. You can see clearly the touch and go area where this happened is not a momentum zone. So that means drivers need to be maintaining speed through there. Now, I think you're right, Jared. I think your read on it initially is there was a bit of a shallow transition from Odie, and he kind of gripped up and came forward. But have the judges made a call?
Yeah, the judges made a call. Who's at fault? Say it again. Fault on Odie. Was that unanimous? Fault is on Odie. All right, yeah, so fault is on Odie, so that means Matt Field can put hands on the car and inspect the vehicle. So the fault is on Odie, so Field can put the hands on the car. If Odie wants to get hands on his vehicle, he would have to take it and utilize his competition timeout.
Yeah, that is correct. And we are in a pretty clear situation here where there's a clear advantage for Matt Field
hit
with Odie Bakshi's getting fault for the collision and being awarded an incomplete. So that means that Matt Field would need to also incomplete on his chase run in order for there to be the possibility of a one more time. However, 2 incompletes on a chase run mean we could revert to the lead as a comparison, but let's take a look at it again here.
So they do kiss on initiation right here.
Yeah, they kiss here. Field is on throttle well before the inside clip, and then Odie's going to quickly transition a bit early there, and that's where you see the contact. Can we roll that back just real quick one more time? I want to just take a look at one little item, just for my own edification, if you will.
Well, all the lights were on, but they lit up and the boys got lit.
The hype of the finals.
Yep, the hype of the finals, and Matt talked about it. Lorette didn't have words with Odie, but he says, we've driven together, there's no foul play, we know what to expect, and inspecting the corners. There we are overlooking, is that Odie's vehicle? Man, they are working in the dark over there. Absolute pitch black. Fortunately, they got that Type S lighting, right? So 1/2 of the battle is completed. Odie at fault. That means he's at a deficit. Matt Field is 1/2 of a battle left, and he is going to win here in Atlanta, which I don't think he has won before here.
I think Odie?
No, I'm saying Field, because Odie's at fault. Field has never won here before.
Right.
I believe Odie has.
Yeah, he has won here.
Yes.
I remember Ron Bergenholtz cried that night.
Pull the cars around.
Yep. Field is focusing on his right rear, possible bent arm, so that could play a major role here. He does have 10 minutes because of the contact and the collision, as you called it, as opposed to a competition timeout. So because he wasn't at fault, it's a 10-minute allotment. Competition timeouts are just 5-minute allotment.
And this is digging deep into the rule book, but this is something that we've had in here in the rule book for a couple of years for situations like this, is that
I don't get it. Matt Field hit the
and I want to go back and do a quick refresher on it, but I do not believe that you can win the finals, that we will wait.
On a
that we will wait and give additional time so that we can see the conclusion of the finals, unless the driver at fault has to bow out of competition.
Right. So we can see the Drift Force boys down there helping as well. Yeah, so you can see that is the hot pit area that's at the top of the hill. So they take any necessary tools and parts. They have what's called parts boards, where they have corners of the vehicle. A lot of the teams have utilized this for numerous years, but parts boards. So that right corner, the left front, right front, whatever you got. So as can see Lorette Nickel down there. Hopefully we can get some words with Matt Field. And Lorette, go ahead. Down to you, girl.
Yeah, thank you so much. Hopefully you can hear me. There's a lot of cars and a lot of things in the way. But Matt Field sitting in the car, and there's been some damage to the right side. So tell us what the team is working on fixing.
Right, so, got it? Right now, it's actually this piece called a toe control plate, and it's basically a sacrifice piece that Part Shop Max builds into their knuckle so that we don't destroy a very expensive billet knuckle. So fortunately, just that plate took the hit. We pull it off, bolt a new one on, check the alignment, and send the car on its way. So this is the first time with this new piece that we've tested, and I guess it's working. I can't see, I'm dying to see, but the boys got me. I trust them.
All right, Matt, thank you so much.
Nice, very good brief interview. Thank you, Lorette, for some insight there. And then shout out to Part Shop Max, right? And that's kind of keeping the damage at bay and minimizing the costly parts, because, like you said, that big billet piece. And look at that, boom, like an absolute F1 NASCAR team. So, what's that?
Yeah, you want to get appropriate confidence. You want to get intelligent parts.
Let's go. That's right. Appropriate confidence, baby. When we come back, we will see Matt Field and Odie Bakshi finish out the finals here at Michelin Raceway Road Atlanta, the Royal Purple Road to the Championship, presented by O'Reilly Auto Parts. That's right. All right, there it is. Matt Field is rolling. Make some noise, Atlanta. Don't stop believing. That's right, Brooks. Don't stop believing. That is right, Brooks Church in the building. Thank you, sir. He is a fun haver for sure. Just a small town boy, you know what I mean?
These boys are
living in a lonely world. Adam Jababy tuning in. Thank you guys and gals, all of you for watching. We still have a packed house here. Yeah, let's pull out those lights, turn them on Saturday night.
Yeah.
You ain't got anywhere else to go but here. So light up the night, get those camera lights going, the phone lights.
Whoa,
yeah, Matt Field's only win came in 2016, Texas and Irwindale.
Trying to get that triple.
Yeah. Would love to see that for Matt Field. So again, light up the night. Here we go. Larry Chen with the flicks. Baby Send. Spicy Leaf. Jammer. What would it be? Joner Bams. Let's go. Chris Yule, Joner Bams. Is that sufficient? Here we go. Send it for the finals. Odie Bakshis out front. Matt Field in the chase position. Who's coming out on top? Odie missing some of those carbon Kevlar bits. Wraps it around that front clip. Gets a little closer. Doesn't have that bumper on. And look at this big angle. Matt Field with a big correction.
Oh boy.
And Matt Field is that considered incomplete. Kind of came out of power. And now coming back down the hill. Guys, is that an incomplete? But the contact, Ryan, I hear you screaming, hooting and hollering. Is that enough? Wow.
I mean, this is a weird situation because the incomplete by Odie comes in the chase. Matt Field couldn't finish his lead run, so they don't have a lead run to compare if the two incompletes in the chase are in fact legit. Odie had one for hitting Matt, right? Now let's take a look at Matt in the chase. Oh man, this is getting interesting. We thought it was over. Matt Field right there. Brings angle out of the car, and then again coming up the hill, he understeers for a second. The car is struggling. The car is struggling, and Matt, in this critical part right there, he understeers, loses some angle. So the question is, and that one was a little bit more extreme, the question is that an incomplete? Because if it's an incomplete, both drivers in the chase have incompletes. Odie hit Matt, so he didn't have a lead run that the judges could compare it to. Somebody help me.
Help me. Help. The judges are deliberating right now, and they're analyzing just as hard as you are. Oh, man, the fans don't want to go home.
And they have to go one more time because there's not enough chasing.
The fans are screaming. All right, what do you guys think? Do we have a winner? Is it Field? Is it Odie? What do you guys think? Where are my Odie fans at? Where are my Matt Field fans at? Who thinks they should go one more time? So, here we go to the judges. Survey says, guess what?
You gotta be kidding me.
You know, if this shows up, they're going one more time.
Goodness gracious. Wow.
They're going at it again.
Look at it. Matt Field's team is smiling.
Dude, that was silly. Silly. Yeah, they got to get some fresh rubber underneath, and Falcon tires being absolutely abused.
Wow.
There we go. Children of all ages.
Wow. Oh, she's so sad.
She's a Matt Field fan. She's bummed. She's bummed about it. So they are going at it again. They'll throw some fresh Falcons underneath the vehicle. All-Star Special, scattered, capped, covered, right? Scattered. So my move is, so it's scattered. So smothered is cheese, right? Covered, cubed, chunked, and then capped. I like the shrooms. Here we go. That is Matt Field and Odie Bakshis. Nice job there by Matt Field on initiation, going to that first outside zone. Into the second outside zone. Both these guys are dialed. Rip Rourke ready to go into the keyhole. Around that front clip, out of the keyhole, both these drivers go. Now down into that touch and go, and that final clip. Looks like we got a full pull here, Ryan. Look at that. Oh, just as I say that, L.V.K overshoots, 2 tires off.
I think it was past the finish line.
It was past the finish line. I was over here busy talking about the Dub House, the old Waffle House, man.
Matt Field just rolled the white line again.
Wow. All right. Wow. Well, Matt Field looks like he's back in charge here. Nice initiation. You can see e-brake pull, but he's back on throttle just right at that inside clip. Odie was making the right adjustments, but he went a little bit long as he was making the approach to the first inside clip. Now Matt Field gets into that zone. Odie keeping the pressure on, using the grip of that S15 to charge back at Matt Field. Good transition through the smoke line. Here comes Odie. Look at that, right in the pocket there. Battle on hands here going into the night as we try to finish up Road Atlanta. And that was right at the finish line.
That was Sketchball 5000.
Hey,
sketchy Odie. All right, are we gonna get a winner? What do you think, Insta Steve, Insta Big Steve? What do you think? Are we gonna get a winner? Either way, it's a Falcon Tire win, baby. Teal and blue, 1 and 2. That's how we do. You could use that in the ad, okay? Teal and blue, 1 and 2. That's how we do. Trademark. There we go. It's all you. Thank you. I'll send you my Venmo. All right. Speaking of Venmo, talking about getting paid. Let's send it Atlanta for potentially the last time here of the evening. L.V.K out front, Matt Field sweating them. Look at this. Around that first front clip. Oh, man, Matt Field, he is a man possessed. L.V.K filling all that outside zone 1, outside zone 2. Field taking a shallower line. But look at Matt Field. Oh, man, he took a shallower line. He had a correction, exiting out of the keyhole. And then back up the hill. Woo! Matt looked like 2020 Matt Field there. He looked like a Tasmanian devil, little blah 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 blah. Like he was going for it when he came out of the keyhole. He did have that correction, and then I saw the judges kind of like, you know, facing hands.
Well, they started even at the beginning of this battle, and now one driver is gonna win here tonight. After a crazy one more time, we find ourselves here with Odie going deep into outside zone 2. Matt Field sticking to him on the door, transitioning back around. There's that flub that he makes on the transition, leaving the keyhole. Odie's trying to stretch out his lead and gapping Matt Field towards the end. There it is again. You can see he got a little unstuck as he was just in the wrong position on the track. Odie firing through that last inside clip. And ladies and gentlemen, it is a battle here on our hands. Here's the FPV coming down. Excessive speeds, mid-90s sometimes from these guys, flying into that first corner. And you can see right there, Field comes off that first outside zone a little bit early, doesn't follow Odie all the way out to the second, but he's keeping the proximity there. And here, this is where he makes that mistake. Look at the front wheels. That was quite a bit of time to be straight with those front wheels when you're drifting, and we saw a pretty solid shot of it there from the FPV drone, which is not the kind of evidence you want if you're looking to take the win here. If we have a winner, we'll bring them down. If you see the scorecard go up, you know what that means.
Atlanta, on 3, yell send it for me, okay? Because we didn't do that because I got a little overzealous talking about Waffle House. A little hungry over here. So on 3, I need you to yell send it as loud as possible, okay? 1, 2, 3. Yo, thank you guys. Thank you, Atlanta, so much for coming out here and joining us, sticking around. Hard charging, hard partying. Here's our BC Racing custom coilover side-by-side instant replay, Ryan.
Well, what do you guys at home think? Is it L.V.K or Matt Field? We find ourselves here after a really crazy one more time battle where it looked like Matt Field had it in the bag. Obviously, the car was not fully functional. He got it incomplete in his chase. The judges had no choice but to go one more time, and so we do it again. Odie, sans quite a few parts on the vehicle, still looks like he is on point and charging, and it looks like we do have a result, so we are going to bring the drivers down.
Here are our 3 drivers.
He did.
And one will be crowned the winner of Atlanta. We talked about, you know, and there it is, some celebratory donuts. we go, those 3 vehicles coming up to the infamous horseshoe. And there he is, your defending champion, Vaughn Gittin Jr. Got that 3rd place podium. You're defending and 2-time champion. Stepping outside of his vehicle, a great place to be given just the fierce competition. An awesome display of horsepower. Make some noise for your 3rd place finisher here, round 1 of the Formula Drift Pro Championship, Royal Purple Road to the Championship, presented by O'Reilly Auto Parts. 3rd place, Vaughn Gittin Jr. All right, and now your winner here at round 1, where it all began in 2004, celebrating 18 years of Formula Drift after 700 plus days of not being back here at this iconic track. It feels good, Atlanta. Make some noise for all our drivers. It's a win-win for everybody, but it's a win 1 and 2 for the teal and blue. That's how we do. Your winner here at Road Atlanta,
Falcon.
Pilots a Falcon tire vehicle, has a V8 under the hood, is one of 2 frenemies, and the winner is unanimous. Odie Bakshis! Odie Bakshis gets the win, and Matt Field gets 2nd place. A Falcon Tire 1 and 2, Odie Bakshis in the Falcon Tires Field Suspension S15 gets the win. Matt Field, your number 1 qualifier, comes up just a bit short, gets 2nd place in that Falcon Tires Drift Cave Corvette. Vaughn Gittin Jr. rounds out the podium with that Monster Energy Nitto Tire Ford Performance Mustang RTR Spec 5D. Lorette Nickel is down there.
Yes, sir.
She is going to wrap out with Odie Bakshis. Lorette?
That was one hell of an event, though. For sure, man. One hell of an event. Touche, gentlemen. So we got Odie, Matt Fields, Vaughn Gittin Jr. 1, 2, and 3. That's round 1. Stay tuned for round 2. It's round 2 is Orlando, so we'll see you in Orlando, man. Peace. Like, comment, subscribe, share. I don't care. Enjoy the videos. Later. Peace.